I have alarming news. My beautiful city of Tampa Bay is on high alert as we are being ravaged by a loose cannon degenerate who is preying upon female real estate agents by pretending to be interested in purchasing property so that he can caress their feet.
You will only see right here on 10 Tampa Bay. Realtors are now speaking out after sharing posts like these online. They say a man suspected of having a foot fetish is reportedly targeting women real estate agents by booking fake home tours and open house showings.
Pound for pound, it really seems like foot fetishists have the most criminals. Like, of every fetish that exists on this planet, I feel like we see foot fetishists being the ones that are most aggressive and most insatiable with their appetite for their fix. I just see it in the headlines all the time. Like, just a week ago on stream, we learned about this dweeb, the Nevada foot fondler, which sounds like a terrible DC villain, who was recently arrested for breaking into multiple women's homes and rubbing their feet and legs while they slept. Like he was trying to get a genie out of a lamp. He would go in and like rub their feet, and they finally caught him. And there's a body cam of them confronting him as well. He literally looks like a caricature you'd picture in your head if I told you about the Nevada foot fondler. Now, I don't know if he's busted out of Arkham Asylum and now terrorizing Tampa Bay, or if there really is just that many foot fetishist criminals that just keep spawning in. It is crazy, though.
That's right, Dave and Frank. Several realtors are sharing this very similar story of a man inappropriately touching their leg or foot while they are working. And the earliest as far back as July in Pinellas County, and as recently as last week during another showing in Manatee County.
He's been at large for quite some time now. This is far from his first rodeo. They haven't caught him. There's not even a lot of information about who he is. I imagine they don't have any pictures or any real information on him, considering he makes these fake bookings and then going to open houses. So it's not like they're vetting him when he arrives and does this. So he's just like this man of mystery who probably retreats into the sewers like fucking Master Splinter. And he just comes out anytime there's an open house like the fucking boogeyman to go and touch the female realtor's legs and feet. Now, after doing a little more digging, it turns out they actually do know information about this guy, but they're not releasing it because he hasn't been formally charged or arrested on any of this at the moment. But I would make an argument that by not informing potential victims here, realtors, of who this is, it puts them at risk because he will continue to go terrorize open houses or booking these house tours with the realtors where he might do this again. If they don't know who he is, how are they going to avoid him and stay safe away from him? You know what I mean? And that's one of the things the story talks about, just avoid this guy. Well, how if they don't know who it is? Unless they're privately sharing that information with every realtor in the local area. I guess perhaps they're just not releasing it publicly on the news, maybe. I don't really know.
That time, he, pointed down at my feet and was like, "Oh, you have an ant on your shoe." And I was like, "Where?" And I'm frantic trying to get the ant off my shoe. And I'm like, "Where?" And he's like, "Right there, right there."
Real estate agent Angela Julian didn't realize that was just a trick.
He bends down and he starts unbuckling my shoe and caressing my foot, and I just thought that was really weird. At the same time, he's fidgeting with his phone, petting my foot, fidgeting the phone, and I think he's trying to take some type of a video up my skirt. It was really alarming.
That was just one of his many tricks in the John Madden playbook he uses to get his fix of foot fondling. So she's recounting this in this story where he came up and said "Oh, there's an ant on your shoe." So she was kind of freaking out, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm the hero here. I'll take care of this." And he goes down and then just starts taking off her shoe, and I can already just hear the fedora tip he does as he says, "Milady, I've got this taken care of. No need to fear," as he goes down there and then just starts worshiping her foot while trying to film with the other hand or some shit. I'm surprised she didn't just reflexively kick him in the face, breaking his nose. I don't know how he squeaked out of this situation with no injuries and no handcuffs. I'm assuming she was just really fearful of this, because I think most people would be. That's a pretty alarming thing to just have happen out of nowhere when you're going to do a fucking house tour for what you think is an interested buyer in the property you're listing. And then for something like this to unfold, that's probably the last thing anyone really expects. Anyway, like I mentioned earlier, it feels like this has happened a lot with feet in particular. Like that fetish, for some reason, leads to things like this more frequently than a lot of others. I understand it's more on the common side of fetishes, but even still, like some of the most outrageous ones you won't even hear about, like producing this many criminals, like fucking piss fetishists. You never see a headline with them in a case like this. Like, you never heard about like the piss patriot who goes to open house showings in order to con realtors into urinating on him. Like one of his strategies, similar to this guy, like, "Oh, help, a jellyfish just stung me in the chest," rips off his shirt. "I need you to piss on it to neutralize the sting, quick!"
First unaware of the violation, now at least more than a half dozen women coming forward to share stories of their encounter with the strange man that's left them feeling vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. Instantly, you can sense that something's not quite right, but you can't really put your finger on it.
He's searching Zillow. He's using everything that everyone has public access to see when and where people are going to be.
I imagine this guy's got a setup similar to like Charles Xavier with Cerebro. He's just got like Zillow listings everywhere in the Tampa/St. Petersburg area, and he's looking for open houses so he can go there and touch the realtor's feet. Assuming, of course, they are female, because it doesn't seem like he's targeting male realtors at all.
And that is concerning.
Les Haynes, who runs a group for Tampa area realtors, says up to 30 people can show up for a single open house, with many unvetted. That's why he's advising realtors to prioritize their safety.
If you are carrying a firearm, you need firearm safety, you need practice. It is not buying a gun on a shelf and thinking you're going to be Annie Oakley.
They mention about how a lot of people that attend these open houses, they don't have like background checks or anything. They're not like vetted. It's just people that see it's an open house and they come in. That's the whole fucking point of an open house. It's just kind of fishing to see if there's anyone in the area that happens to drive by that might be interested in the property. So there isn't like a whole lot of procedure behind like getting information on everyone that shows up, which is why he's able to stay so under the radar and why it doesn't seem like there's any information about him. Now this guy is mentioning how important it is to like prioritize safety as a realtor, especially with someone like this out there, so he's talking about firearms, which the Tampa toe tickler probably just got a lot of sweat on his fucking brow right there hearing that.
Have an escape route, have maybe some pepper spray or something that you can grab and get to in an emergency to protect yourself.
And tonight, some of those women have now reported their encounters to area law enforcement, including Clearwater Police just confirming an incident in September. They say if you're a realtor and someone behaves like this or this particular person shows up at your listing, first make sure you get yourself safely out of harm's way and then call 911 immediately.
So since this weirdo is known to authorities, it is now just a matter of, are they going to do anything about him? Are there going to be charges pressed against him for these many acts of caressing people's feet without their consent? So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled to see if they finally do take in the Tampa toe tickler. And, well, that's really about it right now. If you're a realtor watching this, just be careful out there, because he's still off the leash. That's really about it. See ya.